Welcome to our session on data scarcity. Today we are exploring a major challenge in artificial intelligence development, where having massive amounts of information does not equal having the right information. We will examine the root causes of this shortage and the specific mitigation strategies organizations use to overcome it. In your day-to-day professional life, you can apply this knowledge immediately when evaluating third-party artificial intelligence tools. By questioning a vendor on how they handle data scarcity and whether their training data was legally consented, you protect your organization from severe compliance risks and regulatory fines. Let us start by defining the concept of data scarcity. When we use this term, we are not talking about an empty hard drive. In reality, companies usually have an overwhelming abundance of raw information that they have collected over the years and can easily access. The scarcity refers specifically to a lack of high-quality information that is relevant, fit for purpose, and legally cleared for use. Organizations struggle to find enough of this premium data to develop and deploy the artificial intelligence models they have prioritized, while simultaneously managing risk and regulatory compliance. Think of it like being stranded on a boat in the middle of the ocean. There is water everywhere you look, but not a single drop you can safely drink. There are 5 primary reasons why this scarcity happens. First, we have data quality issues. This means the information is messy, corrupted, or incomplete, making it useless for training. Second, there is a lack of minority or diverse classes of data. This happens when a dataset does not adequately represent rare events or specific demographic groups. Imagine training an artificial intelligence to predict global weather patterns by only feeding it data from sunny days in a single city. Third, we face the hurdle of consented or licensed data. A company might possess the information, but they lack the legal permission from the users or the proper licenses to process it for artificial intelligence. This is exactly like borrowing a friend's car to run a quick personal errand, but then deciding to use it to run a commercial taxi business without asking them. Fourth, valuable data is often trapped in other source systems. This refers to legacy computer architectures that isolate information, making it completely unavailable or inaccessible for model training and making inferences. Finally, the 5th cause is a lack of labeled data. Machine learning often requires data to be clearly tagged and categorized by humans before the computer can learn from it. Having vast amounts of unlabeled data is like owning a massive library with millions of books, but none of them have titles or authors written on the spine. When an organization encounters these data roadblocks, they generally rely on 2 mitigation strategies. The first mitigation strategy is augmentation. Augmentation means expanding or fixing the dataset you currently have so it is ready for use. If specific pieces of information are missing, the organization can supplement the dataset by collecting or procuring targeted data from reputable outside vendors. For instance, if a shipping company realizes their delivery logs lack accurate postal codes, they will simply purchase a verified directory from a national postal service to fill in those gaps. If the scarcity is related to insufficient quantity and variations, teams can augment the dataset with the generation of synthetic data. Synthetic data is artificial information generated by a computer that perfectly mimics the required data distribution without containing any actual private details. Furthermore, missing data can be imputed. Imputation is a technique where carefully selected algorithms use surrounding clues to make highly educated mathematical guesses to fill in blank spaces within a database. The second mitigation strategy is model selection. The size and variety of the available data should be the ultimate guide for an organization's choice of an artificial intelligence model. Choosing a model that naturally works well with a limited dataset is a highly suitable mitigation strategy because it helps avoid a critical failure known as overfitting. Overfitting happens when an artificial intelligence simply memorizes the small training dataset instead of actually learning the underlying concept. It is exactly like a student who memorizes an exact math test to get a perfect score but fails completely when the teacher changes the numbers on the final exam. Let us recap today's session. We learned that data scarcity is the reality that having abundant raw data does not equal having the fit-for-purpose, consented information needed for artificial intelligence. We covered the 5 main causes, which are poor quality, lack of diversity, missing consent, trapped systems, and missing labels. We then reviewed the 2 primary defenses. These are augmenting the dataset through targeted procurement, synthetic data, or imputation, and carefully selecting an artificial intelligence model that aligns with the data you actually have to avoid overfitting. All the important topics and concepts from this session are covered in the multiple choice questions on RooCloud.com. You should ideally solve the chapter-wise questions to reinforce your learning before moving to the next session.